We are kicking off the senior division finals here. And we got a Tatsugiri versus a Bouffalant.
I don't know that I could have predicted this matchup here, Kyle. Tatsugiri versus Bouffalant on the table in the seniors finals match. Now, this is not the Bouffalant with that curly wall ability, I believe in. Oh, no. Kyle.
Unfortunate. I thought maybe Maurycy had passed the first turn already, but no.
Oh.
Jacob is the one going first, and you cannot play a supporter card on your first turn when you go
he picked
first.
his deck up. He picked up his deck and perhaps saw the bottom card or two. This is a situation that may lead to a ruling from our judges where an illegal deck search happened, a total lapse from Jacob's side of the field.
Yeah, you got to feel for Jacob here, and this is where the nerves can certainly get to you being on stage, especially if it's your first time. You know, you got the headset on, it's bright lights. I mean, this is one of the most nerve-wracking situations you can be in as a player. So hopefully getting through these, jitters at the beginning. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see how this is sorted out.
Get them out of the way now. Take a deep breath. There's still plenty of Pokemon to play. We'll see exactly how this is moved forward. Our judges having that discussion at the table. Two head judges there from the weekend in the seniors division. Looks like our ruling is being given to the players here about the situation. We'll get an update shortly.
So as we wait to get that resolved, we could talk about some of the other cards in these decks. Of course, we talked about the Bouffalant. This is not the main one I think you're mostly concerned about in this kind of a deck. The one that has curly wall that reduces damage is the big one, but it requires you to have another Bouffalant in play in order for that ability to work. And so Jacob opting to have this other Bouffalant with the Boofer ability. People who played many years ago during the black and white era may remember a similar Bouffalant with that Boofer ability. Was very strong for a long period of time. This one is on theme. It's got the damage rush attack, another coin flip attack, and we're going to see a lot of coin flips, I think, with the Mega Kangaskhan rapid fire combo. This feels more like a desperation play, though, with the damage rush.
Yeah, it's kind of just another place to start placing energy. You usually, I think, with this deck only want to put one Mega Kangaskhan in play. So once that Pokemon is out and has 3 energy on it, might as well find something else to start powering up. And, the damage rush, dealing 50 damage base, it can KO things like Screamtail in the Gardevoir matchup. With one heads flip, can KO things like the Tatsugiri we see on the left side of the field. Jacob unable to play supporter. Looks like we're back into things. We'll bench that Monkey Dory, and look at that on the top left. You can see the 2 red Pokeballs. Maritzu needing to take 2 less prize cards. That means that Jacob did receive a 2 prize card penalty.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is a big deal for this Mega Kangaskhan EX deck. You're really trying to maximize how many prize cards your opponent needs to take, but now it's going to mean just 1 Mega Kangaskhan EX would go down, plus just one of these smaller Pokemon, and that would be the game for Maurycy. So a big hurdle for Jacob as we begin this first game, but anything can happen still.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game at this point. Maritzu is starting pretty nicely with a couple of Buddy Poffin, getting a bunch of Pokemon established. He's already even brought Pidgeotto to the front of the deck. Could that signal a quick technical machine evolution this turn?
I sure would think so. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a slower paced match, I would think, just due to the nature of this Mega Kangaskhan deck and how much it thrives on reducing damage, increasing HP, and healing damage with that Jumbo Ice Cream item card. So we're going to see a lot of attacks back and forth. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of one-hit knockouts, unless, of course, you start flipping some heads with Mega Kangaskhan EXs.
Oh, we're going to see some one-hit knockouts. You got to just believe a little bit.
It'll be exciting no matter what happens. Great start, though, so far. A couple Buddy Poffins. And Tatsugiri hoping to attract a customer here.
Ooh, and we do see that A-Spec card in Maritzu's hand. And actually, I think there's a chance there, Kyle, that Lily's Determination was a huge hit. I don't know that Maritzu had any other supporter in hand. He was totally relying on Tatsugiri.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why you play it, right? This is one of your consistency cards, a basic Pokemon with a nice ability that can bail you out of those situations.
Yeah, and that A-Spec that he found off of the Attract Customers, just got a quick little peek at. It is the Maximum Belt, a card that we haven't seen too much of. What's he got going on here with this inclusion?
Yeah, it does 50 more damage to a Pokemon EX. And again, with so much damage reduction. And oh, Maritzu found the Technical Machine evolution off of the Lily's Determination. A huge find.
Yeah, that is massive, as it will allow him to use this Tatsugiri to establish his board. A Pidgeotto and a Charmeleon coming down, just a little bit away from getting a couple of Stage 2 Pokemon into play. Jacob now able to play that Arven in his hand, searching the deck for any item card and any Pokemon tool card and adding them to his arsenal. The A-Spec of choice here, common theme with Mega Kangaskhan decks, it seems, is the Precious Trolley, be it the Mega Kangaskhan Mega Absol deck or be it this Tank Kangaskhan deck. There are just so many powerful basic Pokemon you want to get in play very, very quickly.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an energy in hand for Jacob, though. I didn't see one, didn't attach one on the first turn either. We would like to use this opportunity to perhaps use that Technical Machine Turbo Energize, but if you don't have an energy card, you can't use it. Maybe instead opting for the Air Balloon so that this Bouffalant can retreat into Mega Kangaskhan EX, use that Run Errand ability, and hopefully draw into an energy card.
And the awkward thing about drawing into an energy with the Kangaskhan is that's the Pokemon you want to Turbo Energize onto generally, but if it's in the active spot, Turbo Energize will only accelerate to the bench. Loading up some Monkey Dory, never a bad thing necessarily. This deck also does have Energy Switch generally. There's a one-of copy. Also, Crispin is ways to fuel Kangaskhan on the future turns, and look at that. He is able to at least get an energy card, and actually does also find the town store, a stadium card that allows you to search your deck for any Pokemon tool card. This can get that Turbo Energize, Puka.
Yeah, an excellent 2 cards off of that Run Errand. That was a good shopping trip, heading to the town store as well.
You proud of yourself for that one?
A little.
I like it. I like it. And a big deal as well with this deck, we see a pretty key tech card in Jacob's hand currently. We see Grass-type energy in his list. He is playing Iron Leaves EX. That is a huge card in this matchup specifically.
Yeah, of course, hitting Charizard EX for that Grass-type weakness and can get a one-hit knockout on it can be kind of a sweeping way to come in and take your last knockout on a Charizard EX. I'm sure that will come into play at some point. And Chip, exciting news. We have an energy on that Bouffalant. Maybe a damage rush.
I've been rooting for the rapid fire combo all weekend. You're going to start rooting for the damage rush here in the finals.
That's going to require way more heads.
Town Store being able to be used by Maritzu on the right side. Just getting a little extra fodder for the Ultra Ball that he has in hand. This can establish one of his Stage 2 Pokemon. Have to imagine Step 1 is getting that Pidgeot EX online with its excellent quick search ability. Having this Pokemon in play on the second turn of the game got me feeling like it's 2005, searching the deck for any card and adding it to the hand.
And as a reminder, now Jacob does have those Bouffalant with the Curly Wall ability in play. If you have at least one other Bouffalant in play, it reduces damage done to your colorless Pokemon by 60, which is a big damage reduction. That's like a third of what Charizard EX does with its attack. You do need at least another Bouffalant in play, and also the effect does not stack. So you can only use one Curly Wall at a time, even if you have more than one Bouffalant.
Attract customers on the Tatsugiri, looking for a potential supporter option, unable to find it. Interesting for Maritzu here, has a boss's orders in hand, has not played a supporter just yet. Kind of amazing to see 2 Stage 2 Pokemon in play with no supporter being played quite yet. So could perhaps target down one of those energy cards on the bench, maybe the Monkey Dory, maybe the Grass energy scares him just a little bit. Could also just swing into this Kangaskhan, force Jacob to find those healing cards, otherwise threaten a potential 2 or 3 hit knockout.
It's like, hey, can I see this? What does this do? Not a commonly seen Pokemon. And I think actually between the Boofer and the Curly Wall, you would not be able to knock out that Boufflant with Burning Darkness. So it has to go for a different one instead.
Great point there. Yeah, wow. All those abilities protecting it just a bit. Now, worth noting with the Curly Wall ability, it can be any Boufflant. We talked about that a little bit earlier on. So even though one of those Boufflant with that Curly Wall ability has gone down, it is still up and active at the moment. Jacob will go for the town store, searching for any tool card. He's gotten the main one for his deck in that TM Turbo Energize for the early turns. But now for the rest of the game, he's going to aim to tank some hits, and Bravery Charm is a great way to do that.
And I wonder if this gives us some insight into Maurycy's strategy in this matchup. Instead of just attacking into the big wall, do you go around it, just using boss's orders to try to collect prize cards on smaller Pokemon? Seems like even prioritizing whittling away those Boufflant. If you can get rid of that Curly Wall, slowly knock out all of those Boufflant, perhaps you can do bigger chunks of damage later in the game.
Run Errand will draw a couple of cards, and a Crispin has been found. So that can be played, and targeting the Kangaskhan, I think we're going to finally see it here, Kyle. Rapid Fire combo deals 200 damage base, and then you flip a coin until you get tails. For each heads you score, that is 50 more damage.
Yeah, feels like a throwback to that original Mega Kangaskhan EX with the Wham Bam Punch. Now we have Rapid Fire combo. Flip until you get tails.
And here it comes. 200 base damage, 250, and that will be the max. 250 laid onto the Charizard EX. Still a respectable attack, but not enough for a one-hit knockout. Glad we got a little suspense this time.
Yeah. Just wait till we get two heads in a row.
Lots of damage in play now for Maritzu. Does have Monkey Dory of his own, so if he can get that Pokemon established, he does play a couple Luminous Energy. One is in the prize card still, but he's got another one, and through the use of Pidgeot EX, he's got access and ability to find any singular card, and he's actually going after the maximum belt here.
Yeah, it seems like an odd time to use it, so I wouldn't, but you can thin it out of the deck with Town Store so you don't draw it. That seems like a card you're going to want to save for much later in the game. And, you know, the deck lists were shared between the players, so it's no secret which A-Spec is in this Charizard deck. But another boss's orders will target down that Boufflant once again, getting Maurycy another crucial prize card. Again, only needs to take 4 to win this game due to the penalty, but also getting rid of that Curly Wall.
He may never have to KO a Kangaskhan to win game number 1. He could simply boss and gust, get around this active. He does only have 3 copies, so he can do it a couple times at least. He does have a counter catcher that he could make use of as well, but for him to use that, Jacob would probably have to start flipping some more heads here.
And Jacob does only play one way to get back, well, I guess a couple. The Night Stretcher is the easiest way to get back a Boufflant. There's also the Lana's Aid, can be a bit more difficult to find and difficult to use as well. It's a supporter card. Well, there are Pokegear 3.0 that can search for the Lana's Aid.
But first, we will see Run Errand to draw just a couple of cards, now effectively making that Pokegear looking at the top 9 cards of the deck, you could say.
Yeah, just looking at the deck list here, I mean, an exorbitant amount of supporter cards. I think there's 19 supporter cards in this deck. You are planning for these games to go long. You can only play 1 supporter card per turn. Normally, you don't want to overload on supporters because they can clog up your hand. But if you know the games are going to go super long, you can run all these different kinds of supporter cards because you know the game's going to go long enough for you to get enough turns to use all of these kind of niche effects.
Looks like 2 Pokegear 3.0 in the hand, and if Jacob wants to get a Boufflant back, we'll need to either find himself an Arven or that one of Lana's Aid. Not able to get it right there. There is a 0-6 Machinations. Interesting disruption supporter. Maritzu already thinking through what he would or wouldn't discard should that come into play. I don't think it will, though. Jacob is looking for something a little more powerful.
Yeah, and I don't think Jacob wants to discard however many cards he would have to, or it's just the opponent.
Yeah.
Sorry, thinking of the hand trimmer or whatever. I think there's been similar effects where both players have to discard down.
No Hugh over here, right?
Yeah, Hugh. That's the one I'm thinking of. Flashbacks to Waylord.
Looking at the top 7 once again, and it came down to the last card, and he didn't see the Lanazade, but actually it does look like there is an Arven there as a choice. That could get Night Stretcher. He already actually has an Arven in the hand, so if he really values getting back the Bouffalant, that'll be nice. He's going to get Crispin for now, though.
Yeah, again, similar to what happened with the Town Store finding the maximum belt, mostly just thinning out cards from the deck so that you can draw into ones that are more impactful for you later. And it looks like Night Stretcher is found, so the wall will be back online, getting back that Bouffalant and reducing damage once again. Now, Jacob can take a knockout on this Mega Charizard EX this turn.
No coin flips necessary this time.
Unfortunately, but that does mean the damage for Charizard EX's Burning Darkness will increase by 60. Still nowhere near a knockout. In fact, just getting back to your original damage after you factor in the curly wall. But you have to keep that in mind as the game goes on. That damage scales up, and you have things like the maximum belt to perhaps reach for big knockouts at some point.
Jacob Lee scores his first KO, taking down Maritzu's mighty Charizard EX. 2 prize cards apiece taken for these players. Though Maritzu bailed out a little bit by the mistake on Jacob's end, only needing to take 2 more to close out this game. Looking through the deck with the Town Store. Not anything he wants to grab. Will play Arven to just get himself that Super Rod, needing to replenish his deck of energy at the moment. Actually, all 3 of his remaining fire energy are in the discard pile right now. 1 is in play, 1 is in the prizes. He needed that card.
Another card he might need is that Counter Catcher eventually, which is in the prize cards as well. You mentioned there's only 3 bosses orders in this deck. He can use those to get 3 prize cards on those smaller Pokemon. But if he doesn't find the Counter Catcher out of the prize cards, eventually he will have to go through a Mega Kangaskhan.
There is that Monkey Dory being established. So unless Jacob flips enough heads to 1-hit KO a Charizard EX, that'll be extra damage for Maritzu to play with on his side. Now, I will say, okay, here's one potential option, Puka. Maritzu could boss and KO a Bouffalant, and then he could technically power up Pheasantipity EX and use its Cruel Arrow to target something like the Monkey Dory. If he can use his own Adrenabrain, bounce a little damage, that could be a way for him to take his 4th and final prize. Debating the maximum belt here.
Yeah, maybe signaling he is planning to attack into this Mega Kangaskhan EX, and there it is. Burning Darkness. Let's see. Time to do some math, Chip.
Yeah.
I think it ends up being 230, but we'll find out.
Yeah, because effectively the damage increase from Burning Darkness in the Bouffalant cancel out, as you pointed out. So it's just going to be that 180 base damage plus the 50 from the maximum belt.
Yeah, a hefty chunk of damage. And is it finally time to see some of those ice creams come into play here? The Jumbo Ice Cream lets you heal 80 damage from one of your Pokemon if it has 3 or more energy attached.
Yeah, and there's also 1 Monkey Dory in play. Adrenabrain can heal some damage. Another Monkey Dory is in the hand along with an Earthen Vessel, so that could be even more damage healed. I think with just a couple of those Jumbo Ice Creams, Jacob can get his Kangaskhan out of range and out of harm's way.
Yeah, you just have to factor in the Monkey Dory on Maritza's side as well. If you don't get a 1-hit knockout, you can have some damage moved back your way. So lots of things to consider. You want to heal as much as you can from this Mega Kangaskhan.
Thinning those energy cards out. He's going to need the Darkness energy anyway, but thinning them out before using something like the Run Errand, giving himself as much of an opportunity to draw into those Jumbo Ice Creams. I do think there is at least 1 in the hand currently. Should be an Arven available as well. Here comes the draw of the Run Errand. So many cards in the hand right now.
Yeah, second Monkey Dory as well will help with the healing. Be able to heal effectively 6 damage counters from the Mega Kangaskhan EX. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Chip, we've talked about the maximum belt, but Maurycy plays another card that's not very commonly seen, and that is Tool Scrapper. That can discard the Bravery Charm from the Mega Kangaskhan EX, and there is the ice cream. Love to see it.
Yeah, sounds like the crowd does as well, healing that damage. It's always fun to see kind of more niche and unexpected cards get a time to shine. We've seen it a lot in the Mega Absol, Mega Kangaskhan box as well, but this is where it has found an excellent home. Kangaskhan, just a huge fan of ice cream, it seems. 30 damage placed onto this active. Hey, that's actually 1 less heads that needs to be flipped should Jacob hope to score a 1-hit KO. Now only needing to get 2 on the rapid fire combo. He will be playing Brock's Scouting as the supporter card for turn, searching the deck for any 2 basic Pokemon or singular evolution Pokemon, adding them to the hand. It will be another Monkey Dory. I do think he took that 1 of Energy Switch off his prize cards last turn, so he could actually use 3 Adrenabrains right now.
Yeah, very interesting. I think that would reduce the number of heads needed even further, right? Put the Charizard down to 240 HP remaining.
Only 1 heads flip necessary. Hey, he did it on his last attack. He just needs a repeat of that, and he will be just 1 2-prize KO away from winning this first game, overcoming that initial mistake. There is that first Monkey Dory. Looks like the other one waiting in the hand. I do believe Energy Switch is there as well. Wants to heal just as much damage from this Kangaskhan. Make sure it will be out of range from any sort of Charizard attacks. There is the Energy Switch, moving it over, 30 more damage to the active, and if the rapid fire combo is used here, only 1 heads will be necessary for a KO.
Oh, here we go, rapid fire combo, it's a
heads! That's a knockout. That is a huge swing in this game. That could be the difference maker.
Oof. Jacob trying to fight back. Just a difficult situation with the prize card penalty early on, but has put himself in a position to maybe still have a shot in this game. The maximum belt is gone. There's not an easy way for Maurycy to take 2 prize cards. Again, that Charizard EX's Burning Darkness will get stronger even more now. More prize cards taken. What will Maurycy do here?
Let's walk through the math here. So if Tool Scrapper gets into the mix, right, the Mega Kangaskhan would have 240 HP remaining. That means that Maritzu would need to deal 300 damage to 1-hit KO the Kangaskhan EX.
Yeah, and, well, 4 prize cards have been taken, Chip.
Yep. So that is the math here. That's where we are looking as Iono is being played. Maritzu will draw himself 4 cards, and if he can find one of the pieces, either Rare Candy or Charizard, he'll be able to get off a attack here.
Sure seems like it, but needs the Tool Scrapper as well.
Yeah, needed a 3-card combo, and he only found one of those pieces in the Ultra Ball to get the Charizard.
Now, tough decision.
Could go get Pheasantipity EX for this Ultra Ball.
It's already in the hand, so the decision is, do you go for it, flip the script, and if you find one of your pieces, you can win the game here, but if you fail, you gift your opponent an easy win, potentially.
He's going to do it. He needs to find himself one of those 3 combo pieces off of this draw, and no.
Yes.
No tools. Yes.
Oh, well, no, sorry.
No.
He already had the Ultra Ball for a Charizard. The Night Stretcher won't do it.
No, he needed to find himself either Rare Candy or the Tool Scrapper. Yeah, both Charizard actually in the discard pile, so he did need to find himself the Night Stretcher, but it's not going to quite be able to get it into play. I mean, he can get the Charizard into play, but it won't be enough for a 1-hit knockout. And now, with that Pheasantipity EX on the bench and with 60 damage on this Mega Kangaskhan, Jacob Lee is simply a boss's orders away from winning the game on his next turn.
Yeah, now there was the Iono, which put Jacob's gigantic hand to the bottom of the deck as well. So we'll just have 2 cards to work with, plus the draw for the turn, plus the run errand. So no guarantee that he would have a boss's orders to win this game. Also want to note that the bench is full for Jacob, so could not put down an Iron Leaves EX in this situation to get a game-winning attack either. But now it's on Jacob. Can he find the game-winning boss's orders?
The boss's orders is game. If he can draw into that supporter card, choose one of his opponent's benched Pokemon and bring it into the active spot, he will win this first game. He will overcome that early deficit. His early mistake will be forgotten. Needs to get his card drawn. I think just making sure all is good here. A little bit of math to consider. Both of these games, draw for turn, no boss, and depending on what he put to the bottom of the deck with the Ino, he may want to use this Town Store first. This is really heads up. Looking at this deck, can thin out a tool card as well, of course, but also will get a shuffle, give himself an opportunity to draw into those boss's orders. There is technically one other combo of cards. If he could find Penny plus the Iron Leaves, that's another way he could get a one-hit knockout on this active Pokemon. Then boss's orders would not be necessary, but that is the simplest and most direct way for him to close out this game. It all comes down to this run errand, Puka.
And for an even more exciting finish, could find a Pokegear 3.0 as well to look at the top 7 to find a supporter here.
You're revealing the script here, my friend. There it is. Kangaskhan draws boss's orders. That is a KO on Pheasantipity. Jacob Lee wins game number 1. Are you kidding me?
Despite the double prize card penalty on the very first turn of the game, Jacob keeps his composure, finds a way to win the first game here, and is 1 game away from becoming an international champion.
Wow, what a fight back. What a way to keep his wits about him, and look at that crowd out there cheering him on. An exciting moment nonetheless. And for Maritzu, everything went right in that game. He got the perfect setup. His opponent made an opening turn mistake. He only had to take 4 prize cards, and he wasn't able to come out on top. This matchup may be too difficult for him. He's sitting there in the chair thinking through the motions. Perhaps where did he go wrong? What can he do in a game 2 to force game 3?
Yeah, of course. Maurycy could have won the game there if he just found 1 more combo piece there. The Tool Scrapper would have been able to finish it out, but was unable to do so. Gave Jacob another turn. And yeah, we just saw that 1 Mega Kangaskhan EX put the squad on its back and carry Jacob to victory. That huge coin flip may have decided the game as well. If you flip tails on that attack, probably a different story here.
Boss's orders to bring up the Pheasantipity. Absolutely incredible to see. What a draw there. And hey, honestly, you know, if Jacob hadn't drawn it, he still had a win condition. Rapid fire combo KO the active. Could have seen it happen, but I think Jacob will be happy to take the easier path to victory there. Guaranteed knockout on the Pheasantipity.
What a way to kick off the senior division finals here in London at the Europe International Championships. And we're heading to game number 2 where, Chip, you're not going to believe this.
Oh, the crowd loves to see it. A pair of Psyduck, but what that crowd may not love to see is Jacob Lee with a draw and a pass. No other Pokemon in play. No energy to attach for turn. And Maritzu with the Buddy Poffin. His crowd will certainly be happy to see this, as that is the ideal item card to play on your opening turn.
Perhaps that Psyduck a good visual of what it can be like to play against the Mega Kangaskhan deck.
All the math, the reduction, the damage boosting of the Charizard, it would give me a headache too.
All right, taking a look at the prize cards here. The Counter Catcher and a Boss's Orders in the prize card for Maurycy, as well as a Rare Candy and a Charizard EX. Resources so important here in this matchup. And Maurycy may not have access to some of those crucial ones. Does have a pretty strong start here so far, though. Is this a situation where Tatsugiri is going to need to attract customers and find a supporter card, though?
Yeah, we saw it in game number 1. It came down to that attract customers. It was able to bail Maritzu out with a Lily's Determination. It looks like he does at least have an Arven, so that's not too bad. Will guarantee a Technical Machine evolution should he want it, and that may be the supporter he wants anyway. He does find the Lily's Determination, but I think Arven will be played here, and that Lilies is nice to find for the next turn.
And the Psyduck fitting as well. I don't know if you've been outside, Chip. It is a little bit damp out there.
It certainly is. That London weather. Psyduck is well experienced.
Got a little wet on the walkover. But all right, yeah, excellent start for Maritzu in this second game. The Arven, Technical Machine Evolution, Pidgeotto and Charmeleon in play. And yeah, the getting out to a quick start here could be a difference as well. The Mega Kangaskhan is a little bit slow to set up, right? If you don't find the Turbo Energize to charge it up faster, it does take quite a while.
If Jacob can find Arven here, he would have it guaranteed. Precious Trolley and the tool card would be able to be found, and the Psyduck could be the one charging up the team.
Yeah, what about almost every Arven in your deck being in the top 7?
You know, you only need one. There it works out. That will be played, searching the deck for any item card and a Pokemon tool. Precious Trolley is certainly going to be one of those choices. It was not in the hand. And if there's not a Technical Machine Evolution already, that will certainly be grabbed. Looking at Jacob's prize cards, again, nothing too bad. Does have one Mega Kangaskhan EX prize, but you only need one usually in a game. There's a Monkey Dory being prized, so he won't be able to pull off a triple Adrenabrain play like we saw in the first game. He does have 2 other Monkey Dorys still hanging around, though.
Yeah, technically you still could with a penny, but that's a little tougher to pull off. Yeah, this is a pretty good start for both players, it seems like, even though the Psyduck is a bit awkward to have on your bench in this matchup. We'll see a great game being played here. Precious Trolley should set up that curly wall once again and get a Mega Kangaskhan EX into play. And there we do see the choices for Jacob. Will Psyduck be doing some turbo energizing, though?
Jacob will get all 3 Bouffalant in play once again. You only need 2, but he knows that that is a likely target for any boss's orders, a easy prize card for Maritzu to take. So get those 3 in play to ensure that you'll have that Boofer ability active. And sure enough, it is Psyduck pumping up the team, Turbo Energize being utilized.
I didn't think we'd see Psyduck attacking in the finals, Chip, but here we are. It gets to use that Turbo Energize thanks to that Technical Machine. And it'll work together with Mega Kangaskhan EX to get some energy cards into play and set Jacob up for a strong second turn.
You're not going to lie, I didn't realize Psyduck could learn that TM, but hey, we're out here learning new things every single day. Attract customers there, unable to score for Maritzu. Does have himself the Arven and Lily's in hand and is actually going to choose to discard the Lily's Determination, at least was debating it here for a moment. I think off that Attract Customers, he was just looking for some other supporter to discard to make his decision easier here.
You have to imagine a Charizard EX is going to come into play here. Pidgeot EX first, most likely, and then grabbing Charizard EX potentially. Seems like getting prize cards is the name of the game in this matchup. Want to be able to take them where you can, use your boss's orders effectively, and then maybe close out the game with the maximum belt later on if the situation presents itself. It's a slow and steady matchup. It's just going to be lots of attacks back and forth.
Ultimately, Arven is going to be the choice for the discard here. Was really debating between Lily's and Arven. Arven, of course, could guarantee one specific piece. Lily's would fuel a lot of other options, though, in the future, as Maritzu would still draw 8 cards now. He's actually already got boss's orders in hand, and with the shuffle of the deck right here, it does seem like he's not going to be playing the draw supporter. Could be going aggressive.
Yeah, it's an odd spot because you want to take easy prize cards, but you also don't mind your opponent wasting a bench spot on a Psyduck that has no effect in this matchup. So you almost want to keep it in play so it just kind of eats up a spot on the bench and doesn't provide an opportunity for your opponent to get a more impactful Pokemon.
Maritzu scores the first knockout, and not a bad prize card to take there in the Charizard EX. So now we'll have that option moving forward. Jacob with 2 energy already on Mega Kangaskhan EX. Can send that forward to use its run errand ability. Also, of course, it is the sole attacker of this deck. So we'll be going with that rapid fire combo this turn. Does have a Bravery Charm in hand. Also the Town Store there available. We'll go for Run Errand first, drawing 2 more cards. There's the necessary energy to pull off an attack here. Asking how many cards Maritzu has in hand. Now, Jacob does have a lot of cards in his deck that allow him to be aggressive after his opponent's hand. We talked about the Xerosix Machinations in that first game, but he's also playing Eerie in his list this weekend. For now, he's going to go with Colress's Tenacity, searching the deck for a Stadium card and an Energy card, adding them to the hand. Nice little way to get yourself off a guaranteed Turbo Energize in a pinch. In this situation, though, Artisan and a Special Energy could be found to attach to the active Mega Kangaskhan. Looks like a Grass will be the choice instead.
Yeah, because of the Run Errand ability, and again, because of how slow this strategy is, you can afford to use lower supporter cards like Colress's Tenacity. It gets you the ability to search for specific cards, but for most decks, you just don't have the time to do this kind of effect for your supporter card. You'd rather be searching for item cards to, speed up your strategy. You'd rather be, drawing cards, playing boss's orders. But this kind of deck can take it slow with all these different kinds of supporters.
And here we go, rapid fire combo. It's going to be 250 damage, and that is a tail. So just the 250. Maritzu probably getting a little nervous there, but able to now relax as his opponent only flipped the 1-heads.
I think every time Jacob's flipped 1-head so far. Probably take it. Pretty consistent damage output so far. Still waiting for that time where we get the second one, though.
Yeah,
then it's going to get exciting.
Really get us fired up there. We do see a second Charizard EX coming into play. Infernal Rain pulling up to 3 fire energy from the deck out onto the field. He's going to load another energy up onto his Charizard. One onto his Tatsugiri. A nice pivot, of course, after a Charizard goes down, using Attract Customers. And Maritzu did take a prize card last turn, so only gets 6 off the Lily's Determination. But with just 2 cards in hand, I don't think that's too bad at all. He's actually going to choose to use Quick Search here, so this might key into being a different supporter for turn.
Yeah, I think just trying to look at it and say, do I really just want to do 120 damage with Burning Darkness here? It's not very impactful. It can get healed off by the Jumbo Ice Cream, and if there's a Monkey Dory Adrenabrain, I mean, you effectively have done 10 damage for the turn. Is it better to just try to, again, dismantle that curly wall, go after Bouffalant, and try to make it easier to knock out that Mega Kangaskhan EX later on?
And Boss's Orders does go after the Bouffalant. A similar situation to game number 1 where Maritzu is hoping that Jacob will be unable to find a way to get that Pokemon back. It's second prize card now.
Look, the last Boss's Orders and the Counter Catcher are in the prize cards for Maritzu. There's no path but through the Mega Kangaskhan EX at this point. There are no options to go around it anymore. So Maritzu will be forced to play into Jacob's strategy.
Pokegear 3.0 on Jacob's side, looking for a different supporter option, perhaps. There is that Lana's Aid. That will guarantee the recovery of both Bouffalant.
Things are looking good for Mega Kangaskhan EX right now. Down a couple prize cards, but that won't be the story at the end of this turn. And again, just slowly whittling away, putting up that wall, prepping for healing big attacks that might come your way. Love to see a Darkness Energy for the Monkey Dory to prep an Adrenabrain on future turns if possible.
There are a couple Kangaskhan being brought back. Could bench both of them again to protect against that third Boss's Orders incoming. Will choose to just get the one, though, as his opponent can't play Boss's Orders and Iono in the same turn, so he knows that he'll be able to either have the other Kangaskhan in his hand if boss happens, or he knows the other one won't be KO'd. He does get that Darkness Energy down, as you mentioned. Monkey Dory will provide a little bit of extra life here to the Kangaskhan, and no flips are going to be necessary for this KO. Rapid fire combos, base 200 damage, more than enough to deal with this first Charizard EX.
Yeah, looks like Mega Kangaskhan going to give him the old 1-2, get the knockout, take 2 prize cards, and we're all tied up.
all tied up indeed. And boss's orders there for Jacob off the prizes. Not too bad to see. Does open up some future lines should he want them. Tatsugiri's attract customers. See if any customer is found. Looks like another Lily's Determination.
Yeah, and you gotta think about what's the game plan here for Maritzu now, knowing you don't have access to any more gusting cards. All you can do the rest of this game until you get another prize card is attack the active Pokemon. So is the game plan just to grab Iono, attack, and just hope that your opponent doesn't find those Jumbo Ice Cream, those ways to heal the Mega Kangaskhan EX? If you can manage a 2-hit knockout on this Mega Kangaskhan EX, perhaps you could then dig the last boss's orders out of your prize cards and win the game that way.
This is certainly the time to do it, as Jacob had accumulated quite the hand due to a few turns of run errand, and after scoring a knockout, a couple more prize cards added as well. Now Jacob will be left with 4 cards in his hand. Maritzu is going to have to just hope that the damage he puts in play will stick around and set him up to be able to hopefully push for a 2-hit knockout.
I'd say the awkward part of this, though, is if this Charizard EX goes down, there's not the resources in hand for Maritzu to get another one right away. You have to have those cards like Super Rod, plus a rare candy, plus a way to get the Charizard EX. I don't know if any of those pieces are in hand right now, so this could be a big opportunity for a rapid-fire combo.
Jacob plays the Pokegear 3.0, and he finds himself Cypher Maniac's code breaking. That is a way he could line up 2 Jumbo Ice Creams to the top of his deck. He can almost fully heal this Kangaskhan, and actually, with the use of Adrenabrain, he can fully heal this Pokemon.
Maritzu probably not happy to see this.
Wow.
You know your opponent can search for any 2 cards and draw them immediately off the the run errand. A great combo with this Cypher Maniac's code breaking.
That was a one-of card. He plays 1 Cypher Maniac in the list. He was able to Pokegear into the perfect singular card, and now he'll get any 2 cards he wants. Looks like ice cream is going to be on the menu. Dad's taking us out for dessert. And there they are, added to the hand. Kangaskhan can be fully healed, and let's not forget, as 30 damage is moved to this active Pokemon, that means there is 1 less heads necessary in order to get the knockout here. Jumbo Ice Cream number 1 heals 80. Jumbo Ice Cream number 2 will heal the remaining 70. And here comes the rapid fire combo. 200 base damage, 50 more for each heads. There is 1 more heads, and Jacob will take this KO, and it is not going to happen in this turn. 50 HP remaining on Charizard EX.
Yeah, 2 scoops of ice cream for Jacob, enough to fully heal that Mega Kangaskhan EX. You know what I say, Chip? No such thing as too much ice cream. And Jacob feeling the same way here. That Mega Kangaskhan EX is fresh. It has no damage on it, but crucially missed that knockout. Now this will buy a crucial turn for Maritzu to stockpile resources to recover Charizard EX and Fire Energy from the discard pile and set up his final attacker.
Yeah, this is a difference from that first game, right, where double Monkey Dory was able to be utilized in order to get that knockout. So, yeah, this refresh will be really nice, and Maritzu recognizing, hey, anything you can do, let me get a little chance to use it as well. There is the Monkey Dory being placed down, his own Luminous Energy, and there is a Lily's Determination. Will send his hand back in, drawing himself 6 fresh cards, hoping, I assume, to find himself a Super Rod to perhaps get some more Pokemon established. Quick Search has already been expended here, so perhaps a combination of Super Rod and an Ultra Ball to get the Charmeleon, or Night Stretcher to get that Charmeleon, and a Super Rod to put the energy and the Charizard EX back into the deck.
Yeah, the Monkey Dory also important here because if you didn't heal off some of your damage off of your Charizard EX, Jacob could just use 2 Adrenabrains and move 6 damage counters over to the Charizard and knock it out without needing to attack. So this will crucially heal some damage off of that Charizard EX, taking away that play. One thing you want to keep in mind here is that Iron leaves EX. That could be the way for Jacob to take the final knockout. But right now, 2 of the grass energy are on the Mega Kangaskhan EX. Only plays 3 in his deck, and there's no other way to get grass energy. There's no luminous energy or things like that. So Jacob may need to make some awkward plays to maybe conserve one of those grass energy so that when his Mega Kangaskhan goes down, he could have Iron Leaves ready to go.
We did see that Tool Scrapper hit the hand. That could be a piece for Maritzu on the next turn to reach for a knockout on the mighty Kangaskhan. And now Jacob, having taken yet another massive hit, 210 damage on his active. Can he find a way to fully heal this time? 2 of his ice cream cones have already been expended. He's got Arven to search for another one, but it does look like he'll only be able to get 1.
I think at this point, you're pretty much resigned to this Mega Kangaskhan EX going down. It's mostly about how do you win on the next turn. Now there is an Arven in hand. You could use this energy switch to move a grass energy off of Mega Kangaskhan EX and preserve it. If you had another energy in hand to attach to the active, kind of telegraphing what you're going to do on the following turn, but it lets you use that Iron Leaves EX. I don't know if Jacob has access to that. I didn't see any energy cards in hand at all. So this might be a very tricky spot for him. Not sure what he's going to do.
Yeah, if he could at least get that 3rd grass energy. Oh, no, it is prized, right? Yeah, so can't get it into play here. If he could have gotten it into play this turn and then, Night Stretcher for it, the one that goes down, right, would be an option. But, yeah, with those 2 on his active, that is really, really awkward. A little discussion here at the table between our 2 players about perhaps the damage in play, making sure everything is all right. I think it should be 180 damage from Charizard's attack plus the 30 damage that Maritzu moved over from the Adrenabrain, right?
Yep, should be right. Now Jacob, given his hand, that Iono was a big disruptive force in this game. He was able to find the Cypher Maniac on the previous turn to get those jumbo ice creams and heal that Mega Kangaskhan for a turn, but now just kind of clogged with supporter cards. You can only play 1 of those, and he needs several cards to make this work. What's the option going to be?
Looks like Arven is going to be his supporter, and he's going to try to heal this Pokemon at least a bit for now. There's the 3rd Jumbo Ice Cream of the game. Another Bravery Charm is added to his hand here. No energy will be attached this turn, however.
Yeah, that's making life very difficult for Jacob looking ahead to the next turn. If Maurycy is able to get another Rare Candy and Charizard EX, that might be too difficult to deal with.
80 damage healed from the active, 30 more from this Monkey Dory. Now 100 damage on the active Mega Kangaskhan. He's put 30 onto the active Charizard EX here. Could signal, well, he's going to use another Monkey Dory. Just doesn't want to leave any damage in play for Maritzu to utilize with his own Monkey Dory here. So overloading this Charizard, only 20 HP. Hey, we could see Psyduck take a KO. 20 damage there on the Charizard EX.
If he had a Jet Energy, could have worked, yeah.
No switches or anything like that, though, and no Jet for now. And Jacob will take the KO. Maritzu pushing up this Pidgeot EX. 70 damage on this active Kangaskhan. Tool Scrapper, we know, is already in hand. This could be a big opening for Maritzu to take down the mighty Kangaskhan EX.
Yeah, we'll need to find a Super Rod to shuffle in a Charizard EX and some Fire Energy. Then needs Rare Candy and a way to find the Charizard EX. Oh, goodness, Chip, that hand looks just about perfect.
Yeah, all those cards you were just talking about, here they are. Charizard and the 2 Fire Energy go back into the deck. There is a Rare Candy. He, of course, has Pidgeot's Quick Search to piece together another part of this combo. Though it may be Mega Kangaskhan using the Rapid Fire combo, Maritzu will masterfully piece one together here in order to score 3 prize cards. Now, this is not going to win him the game, but it may be game winning.
Yeah, pretty close to it, I think. Yeah, one thing I was considering is, Do you hold on to that energy switch on the previous turn from Jacob and go for the desperation damage rush from Bouffalant? I don't know what other options you would have for an attacker on the next turn. And so many prize cards have been taken at this point. Charizard EX should just be able to attack in back-to-back turns and potentially win the game. And here it is. The Arven will find the maximum belt for maximum damage here. That A-Spec card adding 50 damage to your attacks against Pokemon EX. Oh, Maritzu may have found a way to break through this wall.
And that has been the story of this game. Just the Kangaskhan being able to withstand those hits. Pidgeot's quick search, eyeing up. A supporter card potentially looks like Luminous Energy being considered, and Iono is grabbed out. Now, Maritzu has already played his supporter for turn, but doesn't have anything better he needs to get, so prepping for potentially the next one. And Jacob is not going to have any other attackers built up. He does have Psychic Energy in his list, so could perhaps be a situation of a Mind Bend to buy a turn.
Yeah, you got to think your opponent's playing Jet Energy in that deck, though. It's very common. May not be worth going for. The Tool Scrapper discards the Bravery Charm, the maximum belt to increase the damage, and this Mega Kangaskhan EX is going to fall.
Maritzu will go to just one prize card remaining. He needs to KO any one Pokemon on Jacob's side in order to win the game. And Jacob's board looking so much weaker. Kangaskhan no longer the protector.
Crucially found the last boss's orders off of the prize cards as well. You could potentially see a situation where Jacob buys some time by putting a Mega Kangaskhan EX into the active spot. Perhaps being able to take a hit at this point. But with access to the last boss's orders, Maritzu can just quick search for it if needed. Even if his hand gets disrupted, can find one more easy prize card to take. Is there any way out for Jacob?
The only way, I mean, you nodded to it earlier, the damage rush of Bouffalant. He could still power that Pokemon this turn through the use of Crispin as his supporter. That is, I mean, that's a win condition right there. Not a great one, but I'm not seeing much else here. He already used Energy Switch, so he can't use a Crispin to power a second Mega Kangaskhan here. And he's going for Arven as his supporter. I just don't know what the option is going to be. Can he tank a hit with another Kangaskhan and then try to establish something?
And that's going to be the option he's going for, but Maritzu did find that boss's orders off of the prize cards, so that may not be a strategy that works out.
Yeah, playing to that out of maybe that third boss's orders is that final prize card. And this is actually pretty smart from Jacob because he probably should know that boss was prized based on the fact that Maritzu has not played it up to this point. So actually a pretty heads-up decision. It's not going to work out this time, but this probably is his best out.
Absolutely, and you play to your outs when you can. Looks like a Jet Energy was found. But yeah, I think just a pass. You can attach the Bravery Charm. But I think the bad news is coming for Jacob. Maritzu does have the boss's orders and will take game number 2. Yep, we have another game 3 here for the TCG finals.
Yeah.
One game to decide it all.
And look at that. Maritzu certainly feeling much better after that game 2. Game 1, just about everything went right, and he was just one card short of piecing together an incredible combo to take down the mighty Kangaskhan EX. A little bit more back and forth in that second game, and he was able to be the one to come out on top. But pivotally, Jacob will have the option here in our third and final game in this game, which will decide which of these players will be the champion. He gets to choose first or second. He gets to take away that second turn option from Maritzu, the opening Buddy Poffins, the opening Arvens, the opening Technical Machine Evolution, and open himself up to hopefully finding Technical Machine Turbo Energize on the very first turn for the first time in this final set.
You know what that means, Chip. One more opportunity to see a big rapid fire combo. Some more big coin flips coming our way. Hopefully both players are able to set up in this third and final game and deliver us one more excellent game. And we will crown a champion. The winner of this game will be the EUIC champion at the end of it, and a deserving champion, of course, either way. Will it be the Charizard EX, or will it be the Mega Kangaskhan, which is fueled by ice cream?
Jacob did have no basic Pokemon in his opening hand, so he'll have to send it back in, draw himself 7 more. Gotta have a basic to start the game of the Pokemon TCG. Probably a little bummed because he did have Energy plus Technical Machine Turbo Energized, but hoping to find it once again. And that's also bad for Jacob here as well, because Maritzu will get a mulligan card. He'll get 1 additional card in his hand. Really unfortunate. You want to give those Stage 2 decks as few cards as possible on their first turn.
Oops, now another hand and another mulligan. Now Maritzu will draw 2 extra cards to start the game.
That hand had Energy and Arven in it. Also a way to get Turbo Energized, but lacking a basic Pokemon to get things going. All the Pokemon in Jacob's deck are basic, but he does only have 10 Pokemon in his list.
All right. Just setting up one more time, drawing an opening hand. This is the rules of the Pokemon TCG. You draw 7 cards. You need a basic Pokemon to begin the game. If you don't, you have to show your hand to your opponent and draw a new hand. Let's see, maybe 3rd time's the charm.
That is how the saying goes, and in this instance, it will also be true. A couple of choices: Mega Kangaskhan, EX, and the Buffalant. It looks like we are underway. Let's hear it for these players. Game number 3 in the Seniors Division Finals.
Let's get to it. A 3rd and deciding game. Charmander versus Mega Kangaskhan EX. Maurycy will search the deck with Buddy Buddy Poffin, finding 2 basic Pokemon, seeing what's in the prize cards.
Oh my goodness, Kyle. Charizard EX, both copies in Maritzu's prizes. He only plays 2 in his list. Kyle.
Not like this.
Kyle, not like this indeed. Oh my goodness, what can he even attack with?
I mean, it's got to be Pidgeot, I guess. You got to get an energy attachment onto Pidgeot EX and hope that Jacob benches a Monkey Dory and you can boss his orders and fish Charizard EX out of the prize cards.
If Monkey Dory doesn't come down and it's just Bufalants, though, Pidgeot's Blustery Wind doesn't even KO those with that Boofer ability. It has to be Monkey Dory specifically.
Oh, just a devastating way to open this 3rd game for Maurycy. Sure has figured out the news by now, and then it's just about adjusting your play to give yourself maybe some sort of chance to find a Charizard EX.
Wow.
Yeah, only playing 2 Charizard EX and, you know, recycling them with those Super Rods is the strategy. Both of them are in the prize cards. What else can you say? But wow, just devastating.
Almost an unbelievable situation, and Jacob Lee will be in the driver's seat. As soon as Mega Kangaskhan gets powered up, Rapid Fire combo may go unchecked. This Mega Kangaskhan EX could entirely sweep this game. Maritzu is, you know, gonna remain stoic and gonna play to his outs, of course. What else could he do? Gets himself an Arven off of the attract customers, but this cannot be overstated, folks. I mean, this is devastating right from the get-go.
And another thing to keep in mind, so if you're going to take a prize card in this situation, you'll need to power up Pidgeot EX. But attaching to Pidgey here is extremely suspicious. It might tip off an aware opponent that, oh, you just don't have Charizard. So Maritzu might be sandbagging this a little bit and waiting for Jacob to Precious Trolley and get Monkey Dory into play and then power up Pidgeot to give yourself a chance to get a prize card with Boss's Orders and get a Charizard EX.
Jacob is playing his opening Arven here, searching the deck for any item card and tool card. Already used Run Errand with his active Kangaskhan, but with an energy card already in his hand, he can guaranteed get off that Turbo Energize here. There are a couple of energy in the prize cards, which actually could make his Turbo Energize perhaps a little awkward. I think he does have 3 basic energy in his hand currently. So that's a little something to consider. But, I mean, any detriment here for Jacob does not stand up to the wall that Maritzu is facing down.
Yeah, I think Maritzu has a bit more to complain about. All right, yeah, Precious Trolley does find a Monkey Dory and another Mega Kangaskhan EX, as well as that Turbo Energize.
So the Monkey Dory being placed down, that is the target there for Maritzu, and it's going to be what he has to go after. That's his opportunity. He needs to chase down the Monkey Dory, KO it with the Blustery Wind of Pidgeot EX, and hope that that prize card he takes is a Charizard EX.
All right, Turbo Energize being used. And an excellent start for Jacob. This one technical machine is what makes this deck get energy accelerated into play and really speeds up your strategy overall. Takes 3 energy to use your big attack.
Normally, this would be a really solid opening. There is a Charmeleon. There is an Arven to get rare candy for the Pidgeot EX in the hand. And then what do you even quick search for? Any single card can be grabbed.
Fire energy.
I guess. Let's get Pidgeot up and running.
Yeah, and the way this hand is built up right now, you can rare candy, Pidgeot EX, quick search for any card, but there's not a Boss's Orders in hand, and there's not a Jet Energy in hand. You would want one of those in your hand for next turn. So you may quick search for a Fire Energy here and hope to attract customers into a Boss's Orders so that next turn you can play Jet Energy on the Pidgeot EX, play Boss's Orders on the Monkey Dory, cross your fingers that your prize card is a Charizard.
Here comes that attract customers, looking to stack the hand for a future turn, and right away does reveal that boss will be his choice. So he's keyed in just like you, Puka, as to what he needs to set up here. There is the quick search. There is the Fire Energy added up. And once this energy gets attached, I think Jacob should probably have an idea here of what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't even try to mask it, just quick searches. Yeah.
Almost in disbelief. My turn? Yeah, that's it?
Wait, what?
Wow. Jacob does have plenty of energy now in hand. He can start attacking with the Mega Kangaskhan EX on the bench. We'll use Run Errand with the active. You, of course, can only use Run Errand per turn, so even if this active was to be pennied or something like that, picked up so that the one with 2 energy on it could just get 1 attachment to start attacking, cannot use Run Errand again. There is a Pokegear 3.0 to look at the top 7, finding a supporter here, aiming maybe for that penny. Does find Boss as an option, and he does indeed find that singular copy of Penny.
I mean, and if you were really in tune with what was going on here, you could use that penny to just pick up Monkey Dory and deny the prize card and basically lock your opponent out of this game. Now they could, use 2 Boss's Orders over the course of 2 turns to go after a Bouffalant, perhaps. We'll see if Jacob has read this situation. It's still not 100% obvious that your opponent doesn't have access to Charizard EX. This could be just an alternate route your opponent is taking in this game. Maybe attack with Pidgeot, tank a hit, and then go into Charizard afterwards. So you can't 100% figure this out, but what a read it would be to just pick up the Monkey Dory here.
Wow. And it may happen as Jacob was really being thoughtful through that sequence there. While he was shuffling, you could see his eyes moving rapidly, considering all sorts of different outcomes. And there is the Colress's Tenacity. That actually could get the Jet Energy, so the penny wouldn't be necessary to move his active, and that is exactly what he's going to play here. So
the Town Store
penny on the Monkey Dory right now.
Town Store can get a Bravery Charm as well, and this is another way you could put that on. And he does!
Wow, what a heads-up move there from Jacob Lee. He is locked in. That is the only Pokemon that Maritzu could take a knockout on next turn. That was the only thing he could target down. And if he tries to go for the 2-hit KO line, Puka, he knows that Jacob already has Penny in his hand.
Yeah, Tool Scrapper is the one way this can still work out for Maurycy, but does not have an energy card in hand. It does not have the Tool Scrapper yet. At least not that I can see. But now you need Tool Scrapper plus Boss's Orders.
He's going to do what he can. He's got the boss from the Attract Customers on the last turn. He does have the energy, so he can quick search for the Tool Scrapper.
Out. Yep.
Does look like that is something he'll consider. Using Town Store first to fetch out the Technical Machine Evolution.
All right. Maurycy has done an excellent job just putting himself in any kind of position to have a chance in this game, identifying I need to attack with Pidgeot EX. I just need to get a prize card. Hope that I can find Charizard EX and try to have a chance in this game. Nothing else in his deck can do any amount of damage that is relevant in this matchup.
He really laments putting this Pheasantipity down, but wants to find as many cards as possible. There is the Counter Catcher, something that's active for the first time in this matchup for him. He's got the energy already. Could combo a Counter Catcher with something like an Iono perhaps to reset the penny, right?
But it seems like at this point, I mean, you just have the Tool Scrapper. You can quick search for it. You can Boss's Orders, the Monkey Dory, knock it out. And we'll see what prize card Maurycy gets. You know, 2 of the 6 would be a Charizard EX. They are in kind of awkward positions based on how players normally take their prize cards, but here comes the Counter Catcher. Arvin will be able to find that Tool Scrapper. Jacob has to know what's going on now. He already suspected it, but now it is very clear what is going on. There's no Charizard. There's the Tool Scrapper. Discards the Bravery Charm. Pidgeot EX goes in for the Blustery Wind. And will Maurycy find a Charizard?
And this prize card is everything. This prize card could be the entire game. He draws it and shakes his head. No, Charizard was found. It was Luminous Energy.
And what does Maurycy do now? If Jacob just doesn't play any more Pokemon down, there's no easy targets. There's no way to get cards out of the prize cards.
For Jacob, he just wants to keep loading his Pokemon up and keep putting on the pressure. His opponent obviously has had something go awry, so just try to capitalize, try to keep things rolling, asking how many cards in hand. He does have that Xerosix Machinations. I don't know if there's actually a better supporter for him to play here. He doesn't need anything out of his deck necessarily. He's got energy to attach. He could Boss's Orders if he wanted to, but I mean, the threat is in the active spot. The only Pokemon that can be reasonably attacking is this active Pidgeot EX.
Yeah, even something like Pheasantipity EX couldn't do enough damage to knock out a benched Pokemon. The Curly Wall, oh, geez, is just preventing damage done to all these Pokemon. The reduction is too much.
We do see Boss's Orders going after a Charmeleon. You know that the 2 Charizard were prized. You know your opponent just took a prize card, so take this Pokemon out just in case. Limit their access to back-to-back Charizard EXs. I definitely like this. He will take the KO with the Rapid Fire combo. Jacob Lee scoring his second knockout. Down to just 4 prize cards remaining. Maritzu sending up the Pidgeot EX. All he has is this Pokemon holding on to hope, trying to find any way out of his situation. And when Jacob does not see the quick Charizard EX come into play, he has to know those are still hiding.
Yeah, you have to at least think this is a possibility at some point, and this will absolutely confirm it. You just have to be sitting there with the hope. Have I already won this match? Am I already the champion? There's nothing my opponent can do without Charizard EX. But if you're Jacob, you just have to sit and wait and see what happens. If you're Maurycy, you just rack your brain. Is there anything I can do here? Is there any way to pull off some sort of attack? Is there something I'm missing?
And he, of course, can attack into the active Kangaskhan, but so much of that damage would be nullified. It's 60 less damage from the Curly Wall, and then the use of a Jumbo Ice Cream just erases an entire turn effectively.
And like you mentioned before, there is the penny in hand for Jacob. So even if you go for a boss's orders here and try to get a 2-hit knockout on a Bouffalant, you know the penny is in hand already, but Maurycy is just going to try to do anything here. The Blustery Wind would just do 60 damage.
It's just not going to be enough here, Puka. 100 HP on the Bouffalant, 120 damage, but the Curly Wall is being the protector that it was designed to. Here comes down an Artisan. Monkey Dory gets into action here. Luminous Energy as well in the mix. Perhaps Mind Bend on a Kangaskhan becomes the out, but the topmost Kangaskhan has a Mist Energy on it if that one was to come up and start attacking. And there is the attack. Blustery Wind, 60 damage, discarding the Artisan from play. And now for Jacob, all he has to do is penny and keep on attacking.
Penny returns the Bouffalant to the hand. Mega Kangaskhan EX comes into play. You see that rapid fire combo. Jacob just going to take all the actions to ensure he's in the best position. Don't want to get ahead of yourself in this situation. Victory is in sight, but you want to make sure you get everything right.
Making sure no mistakes are made, making sure that every little decision is thought out. Even still, no matter how dominant the position may seem, the pressure and the stakes of the situation are high. We're actually going to see a Mist Energy being attached to Bouffalant on the bench, and the rapid fire combo does flip a tails this time. A little bit less impactful at this juncture. Of course, 2-prize KO wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah, perhaps even a bit merciful at this point. Maurycy will continue to try.
And you've got to commend him for that. Sticking around. This is the finals. There is no more tournament after this. It is win and become champion or lose and claim your second place title. Something he'll still be able to hold his head high about. But it's got to feel tough. A situation like this where you were so close, just one game away, and the deck just doesn't want to cooperate.
Yeah, I do think Maurycy will potentially have a chance to get another prize card here eventually. There's enough boss's orders left. You can keep going after Bouffalant, and with Monkey Dory moving damage with Adrenabrain, you can see a world where you can take down one of these Bouffalant. See the Iono this turn, though. Oh, but a boss's orders is prized as well.
Yeah, that is a piece of that puzzle here. He's only used, I believe, just one. He used the one boss and the one counter catcher, so there is a boss still available. But it will be his last gust. And if he bosses something up and it were to retreat with an air balloon or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think here, pretty clever as well. You can retreat. You can use one Adrenabrain this turn, retreat, save your Pidgeot EX. If your opponent doesn't find boss's orders, you can then Adrenabrain again the next turn and get a boss's orders and knock out that Bouffalant.
And right away at the front of the hand for Jacob, he already has boss. Have to imagine Pidgeot EX is going down here off the bench. It's just insult to injury at this point. There it is, bringing it to the active spot. The only thing Maritzu had built up here was that Pokemon, and down it goes, and Jacob Lee finds himself just 2 prize cards away from becoming an international champion.
You gotta hand it to Maurycy, fighting like a champion, doing whatever he can to try to figure out a way to win, finding any sort of percentage possible. But Jacob has just kept on the pressure every turn, has had all the answers, is shutting the door on any possibility for Maurycy to take a prize card and get one of those Charizard EX and try to mount a miraculous comeback. But it just doesn't seem in the cards right now.
Does have an energy card. The Active Mega Kangaskhan does not have the Mist Energy on it, so he could confuse this Pokemon with Monkey Dory.
It's funny, you do 0 damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
The confusion may be his hope, though. I mean, there's no other Pokemon to power up. Jacob Lee, with the 30 damage that's on the Bouffalon on the bench, he is simply a Monkey Dory, Darkness Energy, and Boss's Orders away from winning, KOing Pheasantipity.
Yeah, maybe a spot where you need to just send out Pheasantipity to take a hit, hope it doesn't get knocked out so that you have damage to Adrenabrain onto that Bouffalon. You can use Boss's Orders to knock it out with Pidgeot EX. Right now you're 10 short, thanks to that curly wall.
Retreat the Pheasantipity and then Jet Energy back up the Pidgeot on the next turn, right? That could technically work, and Jacob's hand may be limited here if an Iono is played as the supporter.
We see the Psyduck return. Probably heading to the bottom of the deck here off this Iono, though.
Thinning as much as possible, of course, in this situation.
Just asking if Quick Search has been used yet. I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So can use it on the other end of Iono. Not before Super Rod is played. See a few energy cards or Pokemon coming back into the deck. Looks like 2 Fire Energy for now.
To make matters worse, I think the last Jet Energy also in the prize cards.
So Pheasantipity unable to really soak up that damage because you can't attach you can't attach to retreat and attach to attack next turn.
Yep. There's no air balloon or switch or anything like that either.
Normally not a problem for Charizard decks. You just Infernal Rain the 3rd energy into play to get that retreat pivot.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the option here, though.
It would be great if he had one.
You can't let the Pidgeot be the thing to take the hit. He needs this to carry him through the game.
Yeah.
May just have to send up a 1-prize Pokemon.
Oh, here you go, Chip.
Well, he's already attached for turn, right?
Yeah, very true.
He's thinking about sending up the Monkey Dory and letting that be the thing that goes down. And Puka, time has officially been called here. Turn 0, and Jacob Lee is now